Thank you all for this wonderful tribute. My father was, to say the least, honored to receive this award, and he would be as overwhelmed as I am to stand in a room filled with so many committed and compassionate people, people who are committed to something even beyond what we all can imagine, the future of our children. So, my father, speaking of children, is a 85-year-old dyslexic grandpa, and he has had to deal with 3 generations of dyslexia. That's over 40 relatives, diagnosed, undiagnosed, misdiagnosed, relatives who are all in some various stage of reacting to what I have come to see as, let's call it a dysfunction and denial of dyslexic family dynamic. So he wanted me to share stories here tonight. So I will attempt to do what many of you in this room might consider, as I do, something that might trigger a school-related trauma, something that I've noticed my family and the dyslexic community at large is terrified of. I'm going to read out loud in public. So let's see. So, tonight my dad wanted to say, in that old-fashioned way of communicating, that overrated format called reading, he says, I was able to achieve my own success because of one person, my mother. She not only believed in me, but also taught me to trust my instincts and build strong, lasting relationships with teachers, mentors, and family. You just can't underestimate the impact of parents and teachers who nurture strengths and the needs of dyslexics. We all learn differently. We work extra hard. We are very curious and creative, and we all have unusual abilities. My dad wanted me to share 3 stories about my brothers and I that capture pieces of our family puzzle. The first story is about a young man whose parents were told at a young age that he was too stupid to learn. But he went on to find a vocational program and this great mentor, and ended up starting his own design company, and is now, racing cars and loving life. The next one, my other brother, is a young man to have the good fortune to go to a dyslexic education school. School that specializes with tutors. And he learned to advocate and went on to college with a hockey scholarship and achieved honors. And then finally, this is my story. I too struggled in lots of schools until I found my mentors and my passion and my vocation, really, which is filmmaking. And I recently co-founded nonprofit Access Dyslexia with co-founder Leah, who's a trustee at Lab. So thank you all for Leah and the Lab School, because my father and I would never be here. We're a nonprofit supporting families, families supporting families, and we're providing digital stories online and social emotional solutions for dyslexic families and their teachers. And my dad's story features the same challenges and some of the same themes. He stayed back in high school the year he dropped out of Yale due to chemistry. But he had these mentors in and out of school that just ignited this spark in him, that empowered him and created confidence and belief in collaboration and communication that really energized him to go out and really motivate groups of people to start companies. And so he's been my mentor that way. And these are really stories that are all of our stories. And it's hard to tell a personal story, especially one that's in the public. It's a work in progress, really, this story of dyslexia that I share with my family. Some of them are open to them, some of them are not open to it. But we look at it as like a work in process, I like to say. So the common thread, though, is really these teachers and coaches and parents who encourage students to really develop their abilities rather than focus on their weaknesses and what society often labels as disabilities. With that, I just would like to thank you and say how proud I am of you all and how we'd like to honor, well, screw it, I'll just cut to the chase. I want to thank all the families and educators who are working together to help shape the minds of these dyslexics and kids struggling in school so that they can find acceptance and encouragement, and they can replace self-doubt and shame with a strong identity that develops a growth mindset where anything is possible. Except maybe spelling, but who cares? 'Cause, we got electronics. So thank you very much.